Hey guys! So I'm going to wait a little bit for everyone to kind of get in here. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to look up some of the images I want to reference. That one will be good. That one will be good. Let's do this one. Okay, so I think that will give me a pretty good reference. So I need a pencil. Normally like to go with mechanical. That's just kind of a preference though. If you are watching the replay, like the saved video, then I will probably put down in the description box the time that I actually start talking about digital stamps and actually drawing, since I'm just waiting now. And I know I have another pen. There it is. I think that's all. 5, 3, 1. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start sketching. I think I want to just go ahead and start with the donut. Yeah. Well, that would be a good image too. Yeah, let's switch to that one. Alrighty. Hopefully my sound is picking up pretty well. we're gonna go ahead and start. Just sketching out. So I like to start on a sketchbook. You could always start with just, sometimes I just use normal white cardstock. This is the Staples that I always get. It's like my favorite cardstock for anything. This is going to be good if you are going to do one of the ways to finish off your stamps. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. We're going to go ahead and start sketching. So this is actually going to be a digital card kit. For a library program. Well, hopefully. I haven't talked to her about it yet, but if she wants to use it, she can use it. If not, it's okay. I'll just put it in my Etsy store eventually. Whenever that opens up. So we're going to start off with just a normal donut. So just 2 circles. And this is where we can get kind of abstract with the icing. I'm going to try and keep tabs on the chat, going from my picture to the chat. Hopefully that works out pretty well. And then I'm going to add some sprinkles. So just some elongated shapes. They can be, you know, as perfect as you want them to be, or irregular. It's kind of up to you. Don't like that one. Could turn my phone on and watch the chat from there. That's actually a probably better idea. Hey Gail, I'm good, how are you? Oh, let me know if you can hear me, because that would be kind of lame if I, you know, was talking and my sound wasn't on, because sometimes it messes up like that. Okay, good. So if you guys have any questions about creating a digital stamp, don't be afraid to ask, because I'm more than willing to share. Sorry, I'm going to click on and off on my reference picture just so I can keep an eye on chat. I know that's kind of disrupting the flow of the video. Alright, so now we have our general donut done. So this one I'm going to end up using for the actual digital papers. I'm going to I'm going to do the line art, and then I'm going to put it into a background. It's kind of hard to describe this part because this is like the farthest you can take digital stamp making. But actually I'm going to go ahead and do one. If I have a piece of scrap paper, yeah, this will work. Alright, so the, not scrapbook paper, my goodness, the sketchbook paper is good if you're going to be doing your line art, your inking on a printer, like you're scanning it and then you're printing it off or doing it digitally. But if you don't have a tablet or Photoshop or, you know, any of that kind of stuff, which I know can be overwhelming, then this is the way you're going to want to create your digital stamp. So I'm just going to recreate that donut. Make sure I'm still in frame. Okay. So you're going to want a crisp white piece of cardstock or paper. I started out on printer paper. This is all about kind of getting the feel for what you like to create on and just building the confidence and your art skill. Okay, so we've got our base of the donut, and then we can do our icing. And then our sprinkles. Just like the other one. But this time you're making sure to go very light. Alright, then you're going to want to choose a kind of, I like to go black. I know some people like to do brown or red, or, you know, it kind of just depends, but I find that black is the best when you are scanning. Just kind of makes it a lot easier. And then people tend to color digital stamps that are lined with black ink. So you have an option here. I like to use Micron. When I first started out, when I used just printer paper, I just used a ballpoint pen. I don't think it was this one, but just a normal ballpoint pen. And that kind of gave me the feel of lining, the feel of just kind of getting inked paper. But if you're wanting to start off, you know, just kind of right off the bat, go ahead and pick up some microns or any kind of very thin tip. Oh gosh, I haven't used these in a while because I normally do digital now. But a thin tip line art pen. Now, you need to decide at this point what kind of look you're going for. If you're going for a very cartoony look, then you're going to want to go for a thicker line. So this is 5, size 5. This is size 3. And then this is size 1, the thinnest of the thin. Actually, I do think they make them thinner, but. So a lot of the time, your internet stopped for a bit. That's okay. Do you have a storm going on or something? I think you can go back and watch up to this point, or if you can't, then you can go back and watch it later when it's put back up. So 0.5 is going to be very cartoony looking. 0.3 is going to be, it's going to be an average line art. And then 0.1 is going to be very thin. So if you're doing like, kind of like a Prima doll, you want something very thin, you want something very feminine, then you're going to want to use the thinnest line. So we are going to probably use the 0.5, or actually let's do the 0.3, and if I don't like that we can move on to the 0.5. But this is going to be kind of a more cartoony looking donut. So you're going to be very careful and just go around the part of your drawing that you want to keep. Ew, a heat wave. It's like freezing here. But I don't like heat, so. Although now I'm not really liking the cold. It's starting to hurt my joints. And if you're wanting to give your image a little bit of a different look, because this is all about style, kind of deciding how you want your image to look, how you want your art to be perceived, then you can change the feel of your lines. You can go thick, you can go thin. Basically, we're just tracing over those sketch lines that we made. This is the easiest way to do it. I have tried multiple times to just go straight in with ink. I gotta tell you, you gotta go with the sketch first. It just makes your life so much easier. Kind of think I want a thicker line. Let's go to 0.5 on the outside and see what that looks like. Now you're gonna mess up a few times, that's okay. Try to do more organic shapes. That way if you wiggle a bit, see I just wiggled a bit, it just looks like an organic shape. You can go as thick as you like, as thin as you like. It is all up to you. I like fall, but spring is pretty good too. At least with spring you get some flowers. Oh man, it's been so long since I've done it by this way. Now when you feel like you have a pretty good idea of where you want your lines to be, I like to dry it just a little bit because I don't want... Is that still in frame? Yeah, okay. I don't want my ink to smear when I go to erase it. I think that should be pretty dry. So now we're just going to erase our pencil lines, and that's why we went very light to begin with. Get off your shavings. Got a few more lines here. You want to make sure that they're very clean. Because when you go to scan it, you don't want to have to deal with any pesky lines. These are microns. I know you can find something similar like this on Wish. I don't know how good they are, but you can also use, if you're just starting out, you could just use a ballpoint pen to get a feel with it. Feel for it. That's kind of how I started. I started with just printer paper and a ballpoint pen. Alright, so now that that's done, I think I want to take my 0.3 and go over some more of these lines just to thicken them up. Give it a brighter look. And don't be too hard on yourself. I mean, you should have seen some of my first tries. They were quite interesting. And just remember, the people who are selling digital stamps, they have done these for years. It's taken them a while to get there. Some of them know. Like, they got the idea to do it, and they just went straight to it. But we're not going to talk about that person. So we're just cleaning up our lines. If you find that your lines have darkened or have lightened from the erasing, then this is when you can go over them. My hair's itching my face. You can go back over them and darken them up. A lot of people don't like the cartoony look, but I find that the cartoony look goes over very well with this style, with just starting out, because that way if you do mess up, you can just keep adding to your line. And you don't have to worry about it looking weird. And of course, the bolder your line, the better your scanner is going to pick it up. And if you personally don't have a scanner, you can use the library scanner. Most libraries have one. And then just print it off. And don't be afraid to move your paper to get a better line. You don't have to be stiff. So that is how you do just a basic digital stamp, you know, just starting out, or just the way you like it, because that's just the style that some people like. If you don't have enough confidence on your lines, or if you kind of draw too dark, then you can get a light box. And I don't have one to show you, but basically it's just a box that has a light on it. And then you can put your, like your printer paper that you put your sketch on, and then your whatever paper you want to finish on top of that. And you can turn the light on and you'll see your image, the sketch, on your final piece of paper, and then you can ink it that way. So that way if you don't want to hassle with erasing and whatnot. And then you can just go straight into scanning it on your printer or your scanner and then printing it off. You just have to get the kids to teach you. It's not too hard unless you have like a really fancy one. Mine just has a, like it has a main menu, like a home, and then it has print, scan, and then some other options. And I just hit scan and then put my image in the actual scanner, and it does it right off the bat. But yeah. So that's how you make, you know, just the basic digital stamp, get you used to it and all that. This is good for if you just want to create digital stamps for your own crafting, or, sorry, my heat just kicked on, or if you want to create digital stamps for friends. So, or if you want to just give them away for free. So, that's how you do that. And then if you want to kind of move into more, like spend a lot more money and a lot more time, then you can do what I do, and I just use a sketchbook, because then I have all my stuff together. Although I do take my pages out. I'll show you. I should do a sketchbook tour sometime. Oh, here, this was from Inktober. There. Oh, I have the HP Envy something number. I can't see it from here. But yeah, it's just a normal printer, and it has a scanner attached to it. and it works like a charm. But this is what I did for Inktober. I sketched out my image, and then I also did wording. And then I take it to, let me get it down here. I'll be right back. Well, that didn't go as planned. Alright, I'm back. So what I bought when I decided I was going to do digital stamps professionally, well, you know, professionally, I got a drawing tablet, and it comes with a little stylus pen. My little thing is missing, but still works the same. But basically I just connect that up with a USB, and it shows me my screen on the computer, and I open up Photoshop, and then I just do a black marker, just the black, crap, why can't I think of the pen tool or whatever. And I just do my line art like that. So that kind of saves me a lot of time, because if I do make a mistake on my line art, then I can just erase it. Or if I decide that, like if I want to use my sketchbook, I can do that and have it all together in one place, rather than on a bunch of cardstock pieces everywhere. Because I started getting to that point, and I'm like, well, actually, I think I have my old ones. Oh, maybe I don't. No, I don't think I do. Yeah, no. Wonder where I put them. But if you go on my Facebook, you can see some of my old ones, like old. When I first started out. I don't think I have them in here. No. But yeah. So the digitally just works a lot better for me. It's kind of a preference. I'm gonna get my blanket. It's a lot easier to do to the digital. On the drawing tablet, yeah, you can save it. You draw, so basically I scan my image, just like we did with the other one. But this one, I scan it, I open it in Photoshop, and then I take my drawing tablet out, plug it in, and it just like it it kind of copies my screen from my laptop onto my drawing tablet screen, and it kind of follows along. So it's like you're seeing the same screen. Well, it is the same screen, basically. And then I just open Photoshop, and I do my line art on top of the sketch. Like, I make a new layer, and then I do my line art, and then I save the layer as, I normally do a ping, so that way I can use it on, like, I can manipulate it on top of things. It's not just a solid white image. Because if you do it this way, you're just going to have a JPEG, which is going to have that white background. if you do it in Photoshop and you save it as a ping, it's just going to be this outline. So if you see the my little watermark on the bottom, I think it's the left hand side of this video, there is just some black ink down there that says Crazy Crafter, YouTube, Facebook. That is a ping, and that's what I do digitally. So that way you can manipulate it onto different photos, onto like a card base, without it overlapping the white onto like your sentiment or something. It doesn't really matter too much if you're not, if you're just going to print it off and put it on a card. So it's very particular. That's why, like, most people who actually sell their digital items, their digital stamps, they'll do it digitally with the writing or the drawing tablet, so they can save it as a ping easily. So that way the buyer has the option of if they want to just put it on a card or if they want to incorporate something with it. So if you remember my, let me see if I can find it so I can remember the name. It's the, I want to say the name, but then I'm like, ooh, maybe that's not it. Ooh, I think it's Blue Bowl. I think so. When I was doing the Progressive Challenge, yeah, it's the Bake Me a Christmas Card February Blue Bowl Challenge entry. I took the Blue Bowl image, their digital stamp, and because it was a ping, I was able to create my own digital stamp and put it on top of hers, and I made the little gingerbread house to go on the little tray. So that was really good that she had it as a ping so that I could add to it. Or sometimes I take, like, my watermark. That could essentially be a digital stamp, which actually the little succulent pumpkin is a digital stamp. I just turned it into a watermark with my name on it. And then that could go on top of my video, on top of my photos that you see like in Scrapbook Blessings Club. But yeah. So there's lots of ways to do a digital stamp. I would recommend starting out, if you haven't done any drawing, any line art, then start with your just printer paper and a pencil, eraser. You're going to want an eraser, and a ballpoint pen. Make sure you have a reference sheet of like pictures you want to draw. Don't copy, something. Just get a reference sheet of like, oh, I want to draw a dog, so this is where his ear goes. Kind of like that. But yeah. And then you can, like, gradually, as you get more comfortable with making them, you can move on to if you want to get a light box, or if you want to get into it digitally, then you can get yourself a tablet. Or I've heard that an iPad is pretty good. You're able to do some line art there. I haven't tried it, but I've heard it's good. So, but yeah, that is the basics of digital stamp making. Now there is kind of a stipulation I have of me telling you guys how to create a digital stamp. Now I'm going to make future videos on like different reasons why I make digital stamps, how I decide when to buy a digital stamp, the pros and cons of digital stamps. So there's going to be more videos about digital stamps because I realized that no one talks about it, which is so weird. I think it's the whole we're artists and we don't want to share how we got somewhere. I don't know. Which it's kind of hard for me to... Ooh, I don't think I'm liking this. Kind of hard for me to get out of my comfort zone because I have shared once before. Yeah, I don't like that. Normally I don't erase on my sketchbook. I don't know why I am now. Because I guess if you... I mean, you should be compensated for your time and whatnot, but I feel like the world would be a better place if we all taught each other how to do things. So that's why I'm kind of okay with sharing. Because it took me a long time to kind of figure out what I was doing. And then I ended up getting burnt by someone that I taught how to do it. So it kind of took me a while to get out of my comfort zone and think, you know, it should be out there on how to do this. And I don't know why it's not. I understand people want to make a living, but not everyone is going to be able to do it, be able to catch on, or have the time to do it. Because there are times when I'm like, I do not feel like making a digital stamp for that card, and there's no real reason for me to make it if someone else has made it in the style that I want it in. So I might as well buy it for $3. And then just have it right there ready to go. So I don't think it's something that people should really be keeping a secret as much as they are. But I feel like the crafting community in general is like that. Yeah, not a lot of people do know about digital stamps, it seems like. But, man, I love them. Now, there are times when I want to have an actual physical stamp to do a project. It's just, most of the time digital is just so easy. Especially if I'm like mass producing something. I'm kind of thinking maybe I want that a little thicker. So the kind of stipulation that I have for teaching you guys, you can't be jerks about it. Just plain and simple. If someone is creating a digital stamp and they're new to it, You know, don't be like, oh my gosh, that's not how you do it. That's because everyone's going to have their own style. Everyone's going to use different tools. Everyone's, you know, going to not have the money to get a nice printer, not going to have the money to get a light box. Sometimes they don't even have the money to get a sketchbook or cardstock, so, you know, that's too boxy, I think. So you just gotta be nice to people when they're, you know, starting out on digital stamps. And you've got to be like, I guess, humble about it, because, you know, it's not something that you're going to pick up right away. You're going to have to work at it. And you're not going to, like, go from doing line art to just selling it right away. Which is what has happened to me. And, oh, it is so annoying. I think I like that better. Oh, I just realized I am totally not in frame. I know, I don't understand why people like to keep things to themselves. Like, oh, it's just obnoxious. Yeah, it's time consuming. So normally when my husband leaves for the night shift, that's what I do too. Sometimes I do it while he's at home too. Like when he's watching a show or something, I'll just be sketching away. Oh, I don't know if I'm liking this or not. I feel like the scale is a little off. It almost looks like flan or flan. Ugh. I'm gonna re-sketch that. Meh. It's almost like the whole stamp thing that went around the crafting community. It's everyone. I keep forgetting to keep in frame. Let's see if I just move over. That'll work. But everyone started doing their own stamps, like their own their clear stamps. What are they? Are they polyurethane or I don't know. And they were finding like stamp companies or just people who made stamps, and they would keep the companies to themselves so that they wouldn't get run out of business by other people making stamps. I don't know. I think that in the crafting community we need to be a little bit more, what's the word? We should be sharing more. instead of all tight-lipped. I don't know what to do about that other donut. I don't know why I can't get it. I'm going to move on to something else to kind of get my brain off of it and come back to it. Let's start working on the doggo. So this is going to be a cop digital card kit. So I'm going to do a German Shepherd. Not sure about that. Looks more like a fox. Might end up with a fox out of this. Sometimes that happens a lot. It's going to be a fox. That's just how it's looking right now. It's so interesting how that happens. Okay, I'm going to stop messing with that and get back to the German Shepherd. So that's why I like to do it on my sketchbook, because it takes me forever to get the actual design I want. Let's see. We want kind of a diamond shape head. Kind of like the idea of his tongue being out. Kind of being all droopy. Blech. I don't know if I like that. No. That's kind of scary looking, actually. Oh gosh. Let's start with his chin, maybe. Sometimes these sketches take me days, so I might not even finish in this video, in this stream. Yeah, I just can't get it in my or out of my head onto paper. Alright, let's start with his body. We're wanting a very muscular chest. Paws, or his arms. Let's try that again. Dog's paws kind of go out a little bit, and then they curve in. Yeah, I don't know if I'm liking that. Kind of looks like a human hand. That is kind of creepy, actually. I don't do very many animals, so it's kind of weird. I'm checking off and on chat, so if you have a question, go ahead and ask. If you have any questions about digital stamps or making them. Sometimes I just like to play with shapes and do something so abstract and weird just to get kind of a thought process out of my head. Sometimes I like to stick within a shape that's not working, and that kind of gives me a better This is kind of more of like a Scooby-Doo character. Excuse me. Oh. Don't think I like the Scooby look. think I want it more. See if I can get a reference here. See you later, Gail. Thanks for stopping in. It's fun hanging out. Let's see. Oh, you know who I'm thinking of? What's his name? Is it Bolt? I think that's his name. I think that's the kind of look I'm going for. Yeah. So let's do... See, I'm also kind of playing with poses. So I'm not sure what I want to... What pose I even want to do. Do I want him to look more mean? Do I want him to look more cute? I'm actually going to flip the page. Am I still in frame? Yeah. So let's see. Let's start with this pose. Maybe that will... kind of maybe that'll work better. I don't know if I want his face to be that square, but... I don't think I really want him to look mean. It's going to be kids that are working, that are going to be coloring this. Don't want it to look too female either. I'll just kind of get a light sketch going, actually. Just a rough of his face. I think dogs have 4 paws, don't they? Like the little, not their fingers, but I can't really tell from this reference photo. 1, maybe 5? I don't know. How many digits do they have? That's weird. Never really thought about looking into that. But because it's a cartoon, it doesn't really matter too much. It looks like a pimple in a way. So I'll need to touch that up just a bit. I like that paw. This one's coming out a little weird. He looks a little too happy for this pose. It's kind of throwing me off. Let's try a different pose. Maybe more of a square with a kind of like a hexagon or an octagon face rather than some big eyes in between the snout. Is it called a snout? Yeah, just this pig's. That one's actually kind of cool. That face. Alright, so I want the boxy chest, kind of like the angled, kind of like a diamond almost, I'm thinking. It's probably a bit too long for his leg. I think I want it a little bit slimmer. He's not chunky, he's bulky. He's muscle. He's a German Shepherd. So as you can see, like my sketches are so rough. You do not have to have it, excuse me, very perfect. Yeah, it's a little bit of a derpy leg. Oh goodness. I am just not sure. I think it's because I'm trying to start out I should do my bases of just like a human. And kind of go from there. Let's see without those construction lines how that looks. I'm liking the head, but I'm not liking the mouth part. We're coming a long way. So I like the ears, I like the eyes. So let's try and work out the head. Start with our circle again. Construction lines down the center. It's more of a, like a, no, it's more rounded. Like a button nose almost. I think his jowls are more they're not very droopy. It's more like a basset hound, maybe. Maybe I should look at some more pictures. Maybe that would help. Oh no! My reference photo went away. Let's try that again. Oh, he's a fluffy one. It just kind of looks like he's smiling. Really. I think I'm fond of that nose, but oh, there's a little puppy. He's cute. I think that's one of the most fun things about looking through reference photos. Oh, that floppy ear. Let's see. Those sad eyes. Alright, I love that face and those ears. That is too cute. So now I just gotta get I mean, really his nose would be down here. I think that's what's throwing me off. Because tongue just... it wouldn't be up there. Let's try moving the nose. Actually, I don't know why I did that. I don't want it to be a center line. I want it to be like down here. And his tongue. I think I might have to give up on the tongue idea. It's just not looking good. Kind of looks like he has a mustache. It's kind of cute, actually. Oh, I just love when I come, like, by chance onto something. Oh, yep. Oh my god. I don't know what a cowboy hat looks like. It's more like a sombrero, I think. I want to look up a cowboy hat now. Cowboy hat. Okay. Let's see. Actually, a bowler hat would be kind of cute too. I feel like I should have like a big buckle. Is it more rounded or more? Actually, some of them are more rolled. Give him some big ears. We're straying so far from. He's just too cute. Oh golly, that is too cute. Let's see if we can. Okay. Oh. Okay, we'll get back to what we were doing. Okay, so I like this guy. It's got to figure out what to do with his mouth. That's the problem. Let's look at some more pictures. So this dog is, I don't think it's a German Shepherd breed. So what it does is it's actually got kind of hairs in the way. It's like a dinosaur arm. Like a velociraptor. Oh, let's try that again. Or T-Rex, I'm coming for you. He's coming out pretty cute though, I think. Hmm. Ooh. I need to go back to these paws. Do I like the more chunky or do I like the thinner? That's what I'm trying to decide right now. I think I kind of like the thinner. I need to look at paws now. Oh, puppy paw. No, that one's cute. That's not a good enough reference, I don't think. Most of the references have them standing in like grass, and I'm like, nah, can't really do anything about that. Because their paws are hidden. Let's try that one. Oh, I don't know if I'll like that. Ooh, okay. I kind of like that. I like that a lot. That one is not as good. Not quite yet. I kind of want to ground myself, so I'm going to do a little bit of a sketch line right there. So this is where the first Okay, I think I like that. Actually, it's just a little bit off. Needs to be a little bit longer. That is something I could fix in when I'm doing my inking, but I'd rather not. I'm just starting to muddle it, so I'm thinking I might have to just go with what I have and just clean it up in the inking stage. Yeah, I'm just, gosh, getting farther and farther from it. It might be because I have that too high on his shoulder, so that might be messing me up already. I think I need to move on, or else I'm just going to keep fighting with it. Okay. Got about 30 minutes and then I'll have to take off. But we're close. We're close. So then I need my back paws, which I think are going to come behind. That's a little better. My goodness. It's not quite there, but yeah, I just gotta fix that arm. It's just not working. Well, leg, arm. So now I'm going to go in and darken all of the lines that I want to keep. Because I've muddied it so much. I need to be able to see where to put my lines. Oh, my little guy. He's getting drowned out. Oh, goodness. Excuse me. So now I want a police hat, and that's going to go on his head somehow. Should be kind of cute if he was chewing on it. There's a band. And then a visor. Just going to do a bunch of different angles and things because I want to make sure that I have the right kind of look that I'm wanting. I'm just going to do a star for more of a general police officer look. I know they have like their badges and stuff on it, but I'm not sure if I'm liking the little visor thing. Let's see some police hat. See a closer look, I guess. Oh, that's a pretty nice view. That's like a really old one. Kind of cool looking though. Oh my, that's a really crappy star. I don't know why I can't draw a star. My goodness. Good enough right now, because I'm just playing with what I want this to look like. I think I want it to be more now it's like a clown hat. What nose it is. I'm thinking I like this one or this one the best. I think it'll just depend on what angle I decide to put it on him. It'd be cute if I did like in his mouth, but then that kind of defeats the whole purpose of me putting the tongue in there. Oh. Yeah, I think I like that. I mean, most cops just wear like a baseball cap, but whatever. See, like some of them have pointy tops, and then some of them have flat, like rounded. So I'm not sure what I want to do. Okay. I think that I'm going to finish early. So we've got our doggo. Our dog. He's going to be our dog. Just got to refine what I'm doing with the police hat. Oh, and then we have our donut. Is it on this side? No. Oh, and then I think we're going to go with this hat. And we're going to go with this donut. And this donut, which I'm going to work off of some more later. So I'm going to do a close-up of the dog that we ended up getting done. Now, I don't normally, or, well, I guess I should say, I normally wait until I have everything that I want for the digital card kit done. So right now I have one of the donuts done and then a half of one done. Because I want to do 2 donuts, 1 sprinkle, dog with cop hat, I want to do a cop, cartoon cop. I need some sentiments. I want a badge. And some stars. Is that all I want? That's what I'm thinking. I normally do 2 to 3 digital stamps, 2 to 3 sentiments, and then 2 papers for my card kits. So yeah, 3. Yeah, that'll be good. Sounds good to me. Alright, so I think we're going to finish early. Thank you if you stuck around till the end. I know we didn't really talk about more digi stuff. I was hoping more people would come on and have questions, but I will make more videos about digital stamps, like my pros and cons, you know, why or how I decide to buy a digital stamp rather than make it, or, you know, just kind of things like that. So, hopefully in the coming, it'll probably be craft room chats that I talk about more digital stamp items. If you're interested in more of these, like sketching or making digital items with me, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. That will kind of give me an idea if you're interested. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you're having a crazy day, not too crazy, good crazy, not bad crazy. And I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!